One of the most comforting things about social media is the way it lets us feel less alone in what we're going through. You can be struggling, confused, unemployed, and then see someone halfway across the world posting the same frustrations, asking the same questions. That feeling of, wait, I guess I'm not the only one, is kind of powerful. And lately, I've noticed one question that seems to be popping up a lot. What is the future of employment? What is going on with the working environment, not only in the UK, but internationally? I mean, seriously, what is actually happening to jobs in 2025? It feels like across the board, whether you're in your 20s, your 50s, or fresh out of uni, or a skilled tradesperson, people are either losing their jobs or they can't get hired in the first place. Job applications with zero responses, interviews that feel more like interrogations, wages that haven't moved in years, while the cost of literally everything just keeps climbing. Something feels broken. And today I want to talk about it. What is the future of employment? Where are we heading? And what's changing beneath our feet? Job loss isn't just a statistic anymore. In the UK right now, job losses are rising, but not in the obvious mass redundancies way that we're used to seeing. It's quieter, it's slower, and it's more widespread. Vacancies have dropped sharply, while the number of people looking for work have grown. And it's not just certain industries anymore, it's everywhere. Retail, hospitality, tech, even local councils are cutting back. It's scary because the fallback jobs, the ones we used to rely on, don't feel stable anymore, and they haven't for years. Then there's the whole rise of the gig work. On paper, it sounds super empowering to be your own boss, work at your own time, take control of your own schedule. But honestly, for most people, it's just a dream. It's not a dream, it's survival. You've got folks juggling 2 to 3 side hustles just to hit minimum wage, no holiday pay, no sick pay, no long-term security. That's not a future, that's a burnout with a prettier name. And the irony, many of the apps and companies profiting off this model were built on the promise of disrupting old jobs. But if the new system only works for the top 1%, then what are the rest of us supposed to do? And the AI question. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Let's talk about the elephant in the algorithm room. AI. You can't scroll online for 5 minutes without hearing someone say AI is going to take over your jobs. And honestly, that fear isn't totally irrational. From copywriting to customer service, even things like legal research and diagnostics machines are learning fast. We even now have AI influencers.
Hey y'all! Have you ever been presented a USB necklace containing all of your past memories on it? Because that just happened to me.
How soon will it be before, even here on YouTube, we have AI YouTubers, AI streamers, AI rappers, AI artists? It seems like they're already here, and it's something that's fast approaching. And while AI might not replace all jobs, it's definitely going to replace tasks. And that means fewer roles, fewer hours, and probably fewer opportunities. And here's the thing, AI could create new jobs. It's, it's not just doom and gloom. There are roles that didn't exist 5 years ago, like AI trainers, prompt engineers, or ethics consultants. The problem is we're not preparing people fast enough. And if you're working class, disabled, or just don't have access to tech education, you risk getting left behind. I mean, perhaps maybe the long term effect is to completely get rid of the working class, as I guess if the wealthy are able to create replace working class jobs with AI, there technically wouldn't need to be a working class anymore. And the psychology of work, we're changing. But it's not just the economy that's shifting, it's us. More people are questioning the role work plays in their lives. The 40-hour work week, the daily commute, the idea that your job is your identity, it doesn't sit right for a lot of people anymore. We're seeing psychologists call burnout, but not just tired from the job, but tired from the pointlessness of the job. Feeling like your work doesn't matter, that you're replaceable, that your time has no meaning. That isn't laziness, that isn't disillusionment, and it's valid. And with the phrase that the government has definitely put a stamp on, the cost of living, I can understand why people feel like they're not working towards anything anymore. The reality of self-development and being able to plan out your future has almost become a distant dream for so many, when they're just struggling to hold on to a really basic minimum wage job in case they might upset the wrong person and then they're quickly replaced. So people feel like they're really, really working hard to maintain these jobs just to be able to pay their bills and keep food on the table. It's definitely not a life worth living anymore. People can't just say, be grateful, be grateful, be grateful. Yes, so many of you I know definitely are grateful, but I can't fault humans for desiring to enjoy their life, have a life worth living. Isn't that the whole point of generations of your bloodline, so that they can improve, and you do better for the next generation, so the next generation can do better. And it does feel like at the moment the culture of work is deteriorating, and becoming a worse position than what it once was. Majority of us now who have living grandparents or great grandparents, they were able to secure quite low level roles and still secure that role for a long time and amass some level of wealth for the next generation and the next generation. But where we currently are now, that is not possible.
My grandmother came to the UK in her 20s in the 1950s during the Windrush era with less than £1,000 in her pocket and no accumulated wealth. She worked in the NHS as a nurse her whole life. Her starting wage was less than £10,000 and she bought her house for around £25,000. That same house today is now worth over £800,000, over 30 times what it was originally bought for, whilst the average wage for an NHS nurse today has risen just 3 times in that same period. Affordability is the biggest barrier to home buyers today. House prices have risen exponentially more than wages. You need strategies to address this. For more information on that, follow me here on Instagram and subscribe to me on YouTube. Link is in my bio.
It's so interesting. 21-year-old Kirsty, okay? Salary was £11,500 a year, right? And the average house price was, I think we need this in red. Have a guess, Ali. What was the average house price in 1993?
59,000?
51.
Oh.
Yeah, 51k, okay? So that means the house cost 4 times her salary, 4.4 times. And that's the key determinant of all the pain, all right? So now we go to the present day. And in the present day, we adjust the 11,500, that's the salary, for inflation, and we get to 25,000. So it's roughly 25,000 salary. The young Kirsty Allsop now will be earning 25 grand, okay? But if we adjust the house price for inflation, we get the house price should be about 110,000, right? That would be all tickety-boo. The problem is this, that figure hasn't happened. This house price figure is not the figure. The actual figure, go on, Kate, you have a guess.
I'm going to say
250,000?
Yeah, you're bang on. That's the problem here.
And bear in mind that that's assuming that you are able to get a job miles out of London, isn't it?
So 255. This is the problem. Now, so Kirsty says, oh, why are they all whinging? You know, because back in the day I had 11 grand salary, 51 grand house. The average 21-year-old's wage now is lower than that. That's the other problem, okay? So instead of being 25, the average wage has gone down to 18. So I said originally, the key number is this 4.4. Back in the day, 1993, it was 4 times the average salary. Now what is it? 14. That's the problem for our young people, that to buy a house they need 14 times their average salary, and it's not possible, Ali, is it? No.
We are digressing, and we're, I guess, falling behind what previous generations were able to build for themselves. So there is a generational divide. If you're Gen Z or a young millennial, chances are you've never known a stable economy. You've entered the job market during a financial crash, a pandemic, or a cost of living crisis. And older generations sometimes just don't get it. They say work harder, save more, just apply. But for many young people, it's not just that simple. And even entry-level jobs demand 3 years of experience and a master's degree. It's not laziness, it's becoming as though it's a rigged system. So where are we going to go from here? This is the part where I wish I had the answer. I'm not a mind reader. I'm unable to disclose what will be happening in the future in regards to the future of employment. But the truth is that no one really knows what the future of employment looks like. So I guess although that is what this video is about, I guess I'm kind of putting it out there so that a conversation can get started and people can give their views of what they think is a good idea or what they think is going to be happening. Are we going to be moving to a universal system where everyone sort of earns one level?
There will be fewer and fewer jobs that a robot cannot do better. What to do about mass unemployment? This is going to be a massive social challenge. And I think ultimately we will have to have some kind of universal basic income. I don't think we're going to have a choice.
Universal basic income.
Universal basic income. I think it's going to be necessary.
So it means that unemployed people will be paid across the globe.
Yeah.
Because there is no job, machine, robot is taking over.
That's simply and I want to be clear that these are not things that I think that I wish would happen. These are simply things that I think probably will happen. And if my assessment is correct and they probably will happen, then we need to say, what are we going to do about it?
Will people be leaving the country and building families in areas that are more affordable? We can only guess right now. Will there be more remote work, more digital platforms, more automation? But I guess the bigger question is what kind of work future do we really want? Do we want a system where only the loudest, fastest and most competitive people win? Or do we want something more fairer where mental health, flexibility and purpose matter? And maybe, just maybe, this isn't a crisis. Maybe it's a turning point. Maybe it isn't something that we need to be worried about and something that we need to kind of ride the wave on and understand that things are changing and changing for the better. So therefore, we shouldn't be concerned. We should just be looking at how we can fit in within the new system and prosper. The future of employment is being shaped right now by all of us, by workers standing up for fair pay, by people refusing to settle for burnout, by those creating new paths in uncertain times. But if you're feeling lost, stuck, or frustrated, you are definitely not alone. The system is changing and it's okay to be unsure. We'll just keep talking and keep learning, and most importantly, keep going, because the future, I guess, it belongs to us.